Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Girivaradari, Jayo Girivaradari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Girivaradari, Jayo Girivaradari, Yasodhanandana Braja Janarandana, Yasodhanandana Braja Janarandana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopi Mata, Radha Gopi Mata, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopi Mata, Radha Gopi Mata, Shri Radhe. Jayo Jagannatha, Jayo Jagannatha, Jayo Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra Bhai, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiya Sudarshan Chakra ki jai, Giri Govardhan ki jai, Srila Gauranitai ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Radhashtami Mahotsav ki jai. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you all for joining on this very auspicious occasion of appearance day of Srimati Radharani. Um, Today, as you all know, is a very important day for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. As we say, the worship of Radharani is actually more important than the worship of Lord Krishna. We have heard from Padma Purana how of all types of worship of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu is the highest. Lord Shiva says that. But he says there is one thing that higher than the worship of Vishnu is that the worship of the devotees of Lord Vishnu. And of all the devotees of Vishnu or Krishna, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. Hmm? Her name itself, Radha, comes from the word Aradhana, meaning one who is super excellent in worshipping Krishna. So, of all the devotees, the greatest of all is Srimati Radharani. So, worshipping Srimati Radharani is more important for us than worshipping Krishna. So, in that sense, we can say for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the worship of Srimati Radharani or following Radhashtami Vrata is more important than following Janmashtami. So in that sense, for us, we see that Radhashtami is such an important festival for us. Huh? It is said in the Shastra that if we fast half a day on the Radhashtami, it is said that we get almost a million Ekadasis mercy. It is equivalent to following million Ekadasi just by half a day fasting for Srimati Radharani. That's how merciful Radharani is. So today in our class we are going to see the birth, the activities, and the glories of Srimati Radharani. It is not possible for human beings to talk about Radharani, but we are just repeating what we have heard from the intimate associates of Srimati Radharani. Only they can glorify Radharani, and we are just like a parrot repeating the words of these great souls. And all the acharyas in our parampara, starting from our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada all the way going to Rupa and Sanatana, are considered as maid servants of Srimati Radharani, Manjaris. So only they have the capacity to describe Srimati Radharani, and so we are just going to repeat and hear the various pastimes, the glories, and character of Srimati Radharani that has been described by these acharyas for our benefit. Because it is not possible for any of us with our human eyes and human ears and human tongue, with these material senses, to approach or talk or hear or even see Radharani. It is not possible. So it is only through the Acharya's words that we can see and worship Srimati Radharani. Radharani's topic is so, what you call guhyam or rahasya or secretive or so confidential. It is the most confidential or super most confidential that we see that only one verse in only one place Sukadeva Goswami is using the word Aradhana in Bhagavatam, right? Because that's how confidential the topic of Srimati Radharani is. It is very rare, and we can't understand the confidentiality, the secretive nature of Srimati Radharani. So it is unlimited mercy on the part of our acharyas who have explained this Radha Tattva to us. In the Shastras, it is explained, and in the literatures of Goswami's literature, the appearance of Srimati Radharani is explained. It is explained that Radharani is non-different from Krishna. Radha Tattva is non-different. Radharani is non-different from Krishna. So this is very beautifully explained in various literatures. particularly Brahma Vaivatra Purana and few places in Narada Purana and Padma Purana, the glories of Srimati Radharani are described. So it was described that once Rasaraj Krishna, yeah, who is Atma Rama, who is self-satisfied, who gives pleasure. Krishna means all attractive, and Rama means giver of pleasure. So one who is all attractive and one who gives pleasure to everybody. He was sitting in Golaka Vrindavan in his golden throne, and he was thinking about okay, I give pleasure to everybody, but how do I derive pleasure? Huh? When Krishna was thinking about how, I am the giver of pleasure to all the living entities, but how do I derive pleasure? Where do I derive my pleasure from? As soon as Krishna was thinking, it is said that from his left side, of Krishna, he expanded into a beautiful golden form of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani and Krishna are non-different in that sense. Krishna is the Vishaya and Radharani is the Ashraya, object and subject. Right? So when Krishna thought, immediately Radharani appeared. Radharani, the characteristics of Radharani is very beautifully explained in the various Shastras. Radharani's eternal age is 14 years, 2 months and 15 days. And she is of the complexion of molten gold. When we melt gold, what is the color? That is the color of Srimati Radharani. And it is said that she wears dresses of red and blue. Those are the colors of Srimati Radharani. Internally, she wears red and externally blue, like rain clouds. Srimati Radharani is the eternal consort of Lord Krishna. So there is this beautiful pastime of how this Radharani, and in order to give pleasure to Krishna, it is said that she had, her appearance is very beautifully described. We will see that later in the class today. Radharani, as she was engaging in serving Krishna and giving pleasure to Krishna, they engaged in this rasa dance. And during the rasa dance, Radharani thought about how I can give more pleasure to Krishna. And the moment Radharani thought of that, it is said that millions of gopis who resembled Radharani, who is very similar to Radharani, appeared from her body, and they all participated in the rasa dance to give more pleasure to Krishna. So we see that the original consort of Krishna is Srimati Radharani, and from her all the gopis appeared, and then from them the later the queens of Vrindavana, and then from there to Lakshmi and other consorts of the Lord. So the original consort of Lord Krishna is Srimati Radharani. We understand this from the Vedic literature. And it is said that once Krishna decided, we all know that Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, he appeared only once in a day of Brahma. It's very rare that Lord Krishna of Goloka Vrindavan appears in this material world. So as he decided to appear in the material world, he spoke to Srimati Radhika, who was in Goloka Vrindavan, and he said, hey Radhe, I have taken a decision to take birth. So you also please appear in this material world and help purify the whole universe. Now Radharani had a dilemma. See, she told Krishna, this is not, material world is not a good place for me, right? For me, you are the only Purusha. You are, I look at only you and there is nobody else. This material world, everybody thinks they are the master, right? So then Krishna said, don't worry. From the moment you take birth, your eyes will only look at me. So anyway, so we all know, we heard the story of the birth and the activities of Krishna during Janmashtami, how he was born as, Nanda Yashoda, how he was born to Devaki and Vasudeva, and then he came to Vrindavan and he performed the pastimes in Vrindavan. Now there are many stories of Radharani, and this particular story of Radharani is very interesting. And as we all know, Yashoda and Nanda Maharaja, they all came from spiritual world, because when Krishna comes, he doesn't come alone. He comes with his whole parivar. his whole family and associates and everybody. So when Krishna came, his father, mother, Nanda, Yashoda, grandfather, everybody took birth in the material world, along with Krishna to perform the pastime. Similarly, when Radharani, before Radharani appeared, her eternal parents, Rishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida Sundari, both of them took birth, and they were also in the village of Barsana, which is during the birth of Radharani, it was said they were in Raval, and later they moved to Barsana. Anyway, so they were also cowherd men. Nanda Maharaja was the king. Vrishabhanu Maharaj was one of the smaller kings under Nanda Maharaja. So all of them were present, and then it was said that once Vrishabhanu Maharaja, every day it is the nature of all the Brajavasis that they will go and take bath in Yamuna. Every day, without fail, they'll go and take bath in Yamuna. So Vrishabhanu Maharaja, as is the custom, one day morning, he went to take bath in the Yamuna, and suddenly he was surrounded by a golden aura. And he was amazed, and he felt so much love in his heart that he couldn't contain the love that he was feeling. So running around and around, he saw a lotus, and in the golden lotus there was in the lotus there was a golden baby, girl, a beautiful girl who was like a molten gold. And he picked up this baby girl and he ran to his house and gave it to Kirtida Sundari. And they were so much in love with that small baby girl that they adopted as her own girl and gave her the name Radha. But there was one problem, even though she was so beautiful, and the moment anybody saw her became completely attracted to her, the girl did not open her eyes. The small baby girl, she did not open her eyes. She did not cry or utter any sound. And it looked like she was also not hearing anything what was said to her. So the parents thought, oh my God, that's such a beautiful girl, but she is blind, deaf and dumb. So they were very worried about it. Now in the there are two books that are written by Rupa Goswami, one of our acharyas and disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He wrote two literatures called Lalita Madhava and Vigada Madhava. So these two books, they describe the Vrindavan pastimes of Radha Krishna, and then later pastimes of Krishna in Dwaraka, where the same gopis became the queens of Krishna. It is explained that Radharani became Satyabhama and Chandravali became Rukmini Devi. So all that, how all of that happened is very beautifully detailedly explained in these two books. And in the Lalita Madhava, Rupa Goswami actually describes the actual how the birth of Radharani happened, in a little bit more detailed way, how she was found in that lotus, how she came to be in that lotus where Vrishabhanu Maharaja found her, is explained in Lalita Madhava very beautifully. By discussion between Gargi, who is the daughter of Garga Muni, and Paurnamasi. Paurnamasi is the one who arranges all the Leelas in Vrindavan. She is the one who organizes all the Leelas in Vrindavan. So now this discussion between happens and how she explains the birth of Srimati Radhika. So once, Vindhya mountain, there are two more, Vindhya mountain had this strong desire to get two girls, as Paurnamasi was telling this to Gargi, that he had a strong desire to get beautiful girls, right? So then Gargi asked, that itself, why did Vindhya wanted girls? Generally those days, it's a custom that, kings and, great people, they desire son, why did he desire a girl, putri? So then, Vindhya, he always had a competition with Himalaya or Meru mountain. Once when, Meru mountain is at the center of the universe. Whole Surya and Chandra and all the planets go around the Meru mountain. This is explained in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now Vindhya mountain always had a competition with Meru, right? Once he saw that everybody is worshipping, the Surya himself is going, around Meru. So what Vindhya did, he started growing up and he stopped the path of Surya, so that Surya will go around him instead of going around Meru. Now this caused a lot of problem. So then, all the devatas, they didn't know what to do. So then they went to Agastya Muni and said, you please solve this problem for us. So Agastya Muni, who was living in the northern part of the world, he started coming, he came and, you have to cross Vindhya mountains to come to the southern part of Bharatavarsha. So he came and he told Vindhya mountain, you have to bow down and give me way so that I can go to the other side. And you have to remain this way until I go back to the other side. And Vindhya mountain agreed because of his respect for Brahmanas and such a great devotee and Rishi like Agastya Muni. So he bowed down and then Surya could go normally, and Agastya Muni went to the southern part, and it is said that even now he is still living in the southern part. So he has not returned, so Vindhya cannot raise his head. So there was always this competition Vindhya had with his Meru mountain. Yeah? And, Meru, a part of Meru mountain is also the Himalaya range. So it was, once there was a boasting by Himalaya that he has a powerful son-in-law. Who is the son-in-law of Himalaya? Is Lord Shiva, because Parvati is the daughter of Himalayas. So he said, I have a very powerful son-in-law. So Vindhya mountain in his heart, he always had this strong desire. I wanted a son-in-law who is more powerful than Lord Shiva. Right? So he did big tapasya. And as a result, he actually received 2 daughters. As a result of that tapasya to Vishnu, he received 2 daughters who were going to be very, very, very powerful, who is going to, marry someone who is more powerful than Lord Shiva. And who is the 2 daughters? They were Radha and Chandravali. Right? Now, Gargi was confused when Purnamasi was telling. She said, see, I have always heard that Radha is the daughter of Rishabhanu and, Kirtida Sundari. How come that Vindhya got through his wife, Radha and Chandra, and, we know Chandravali is the daughter of Chandrabhanu. Radharani is the daughter of Rishabhanu, Chandravali is the daughter of Chandrabhanu. So then, very beautifully then Purnamasi explained that how Balarama was moved from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Similarly, to satisfy Vindhya, the child of these 2 kings, Vrishabhanu and Chandrabhanu, were moved by Yogamaya to the womb of the wife of Vindhya mountain. Right. So then Gargi asked them, okay, she is born to Vindhya mountain. How is that then she came back to Vrindavan and was there in the lotus? Oh, that's a very interesting story. So now, in the meantime, what happened in Mathura is that the girl has already warned. When Kamsa tried to throw the girl baby, she went in the sky, took the form of Durga, and she already told Kamsa that there is a boy already born who is going to kill you. So now what Kamsa has ordered, he called Putana and said, last 8-10 days, whatever kids are born, go and kill them. Kidnap them and kill them. So with this purpose, Putana was roaming around and she picked up these 2 baby girls of Vindhya. Right? And she flew up in the sky. At that time, the great powerful priest or the family priest of the Vindhya, he started chanting powerful mantras that can stop, great Rakshasas and Rakshasis. So this Putana became very fearful, seeing that this mantra is being chanted that can destroy her. So in her fear, she dropped one of the girls into the river, Yamuna. Okay, that was later picked up by Chandrabhanu, which was Chandravali. And now, so then Gargi asked, so then how did you get Radharani to go to that lotus? And then Purnamasi explained that when Krishna killed Putana, at that time she was also holding 5 other girls in her lap, right, which she has picked up from various places to kill. And so when Krishna killed Putana, Purnamasi retrieved these 5 girls and placed them in the different houses of cowherd. Who are the 5 girls? They are basically the 5 girls who are Radharani, Vishaka, Shyama, and two other girls. I don't remember the name, but two other girls. Uh, Shyama, right? The other one is Shyama, and I'm not sure about the last one. Anyway, so these five girls, and that's how she placed Radharani in the lotus exactly when Vrishabhanu Maharaja will come, so that he can pick and take his own daughter back to his home and grow up. So that's how Radharani came to the house of Vrishabhanu Maharaja, and she grew up and in the family of Vrishabhanu and Kirtida Sundari. So there is no end to the glory. So this pastime explains the birth of Srimati Radharani. So particularly this Radhashtami should always be very nicely observed. There's one more pastime that is explained, that how Radhashtami, the festival of Radhashtami started. Once Nanda Maharaja, he wanted to celebrate a big Janmashtami festival. So what Nanda Maharaja did is now the boy Krishna has grown up, Radharani also has grown up, both of them have grown up, and at this moment what Krishna was thinking, what what Nanda Maharaja was thinking was to have a big festival for the birthday of Krishna, Janmashtami festival. So he invited everybody, including Vrishabhanu Maharaja and his family and everybody. So when Vrishabhanu Maharaja attended this festival of Janmashtami, in his heart, he had a desire that he wanted to do a similar festival for his daughter, which he knows is coming, very close. So he thought in his heart, I want to celebrate a beautiful festival for the birthday of my daughter also. It's very common. We go and attend a birthday party, somebody's son's or daughter's birthday party, and then we start thinking, oh, maybe I also want to do something like this for my son, my daughter. Or the kids see and say, we saw that happened in the birthday party. They had a magic show, they had a pony ride, this, that. So we want the same thing. So anyway, Vrishabhanu Maharaja had this in his heart. So he came back, and with this in idea, he started preparing for a big festival. And in his heart, he wanted to invite Nanda Maharaja and his whole family. So, but then, what Kirtida Sundari, so he first sent an invitation to, Vrishabhanu Maharaja was in his palace in Barsana, and Radharani was in Yavat. So he first sent a messenger to Radharani, and then he said, can you please come here? I'm going to celebrate a big festival for your birthday. We are going to invite Nanda Maharaja, Yashoda, Krishna, and all the gopis in Vrindavan. And we would love you to come and do service for all of them. This itself is very wonderful to hear. So we see how in Vedic culture, birthdays are celebrated. Nowadays, when we celebrate birthday, we expect everybody to do service to us. Somebody makes a cake for us. Somebody will organize a festival for us. They will all bring gifts to us. We become the guest of honor. But whereas in Vedic culture, it is always the other way around. The person who is born, they will serve everybody on that particular day, because the real way to celebrate is by servicing. We think servicing means by others serving us, we are celebrating. No. A real celebration is when we serve others. We see how Srimati Radharani herself was told by her parents to do this. So he sent a messenger to Radharani, and the messenger came and told Radharani, see, your father is going to do a big festival on your birthday. He's going to invite Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, Krishna, Balarama, all his friends, including Sudama, Sridham, everybody is going to come. So he's inviting you and all your friends to come to Barsana and cook a big feast for this festival. And then, the messenger, being a funny girl, she also looks at Lalita and Shyama and tells to Shyama, Nanda Maharaj, Vrishabhanu Maharaj says, stop being lazy, and you also come and help your friends. And then he says, call that girl Lalita, Vishakha, everybody, they are all good in cooking. Let all of them come and assist you. So then Radharani and all the Sakhis, they became very happy to hear that Krishna is going to come. So they all get ready and they go to the palace, and there Kirtida Sundari calls Radharani, and she says, see, in this whole universe, there is no one like you in cooking. You have very extraordinary skill in cooking. So I request you to cook for this festival so that we can serve Nanda Baba and all his family members. So, Vrishabhanu Maharaja calls Lalita and Vishaka and Shyama and all the friends of, all the Sakhis of Srimati Radharani, and tells, please assist my daughter in cooking a feast for the ceremony. And then they all ask first question, Baba, have you made all arrangements? Do we have all the ingredients? We have in our, our kitchen, we have Prem Sagar Prabhu. You see him 3 days before only, every material should be there in the kitchen. Then only Prabhu will cook. Similarly, there also the Sakhis all said, we want all ingredients, everything to be there in our storeroom. Nanda Baba said, don't worry. Last 10 days, I've been working very much. I've collected all the things that are needed for cooking. You please go first, inspect our storeroom, find everything is okay. If everything is okay, you start the cooking. Otherwise, you tell me. Whatever you don't have, you tell me. I'll go and bring it. Because again, we follow the same culture in ISKCON. How much ever we prepare, last minute we will send somebody to go buy and bring. So anyway, so the Sakhis came, they saw everything was ready, and they started cooking. In the meantime, the invitation went to Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya. They were super happy to hear that there is going to be a festival, because they were always, particularly Yashoda Ma, she always, for some reason, she even didn't understand that she had some great love for Radharani. She always wanted to, see Radharani, be with her. She had very great love for Radharani. So the moment she heard it's Radharani's birthday and there is going to be a big feast and Radharani is going to cook, she was very excited. And she told Nanda Maharaja, let's all go. And then, then in the meantime, Krishna has gone out for, taking care of the cows. And then he returned in the evening. And as usual, Mother Yashoda hugged him because he's seeing him after a whole day and everything. And then she told him, Krishna, Kanaya, get ready. Tomorrow we are leaving here to go to Barsana. There is going to be few days of festival there to celebrate the birthday of Radharani. So let us, be ready. Tomorrow you get ready so that we can go. All these, taking care of the calves and cows, you leave it with your friends. They will take care of everything. Few days, let's go attend the festival and come. Now, Krishna, he put a big obstacle. He said, no, Mama. How can I go alone to any festival without my friends? Any party is not a party without my friends. I'll go only if my friends come. Without my friends, I will not come. So then, Yashoda Maya said, okay. So all of us go together. So in the meantime, in Barsana, the Radha appearance day of Radharani has come. Radharani has started cooking. She was cooking a wonderful feast along with Vishaka, Lalita and Shyama and all the other Dhanishta and all other Sakhis together. They were cooking a wonderful feast. In the meantime, Vrishabhanu Maharaja has arranged a beautiful festival. He has decorated the whole town of Barsana. Everything was decorated with beautiful, all the arches was covered with flower garlands. They were, decorated water pots everywhere. Banana trees and mango leaves and, the ornaments made. Everything was haram, and then all the, roads were scented, were cleared with scented water. Everything was made beautiful. It was like it was more beautiful than even the city of Indra. So he was anxiously waiting. He came to the entrance of the city of Barsana and he was waiting for the party of Nanda Maharaja to come. And the party and started coming. And who was coming first? It was Krishna, Balarama and all his friends. Followed by Yashoda Maya and all her, elderly gopis, and followed by Nanda Maharaja and all the other elderly gopas. So Vrishabhanu Maharaja was so happy to see Krishna. He came running and he hugged Krishna, and then he invited everybody. Presented, gave a beautiful place for them to sit, relax. So we see how the Vedic culture is. it is by nature, Vedic culture, the serving of guest is considered as an honor. To serve a guest, to get a guest, to receive a guest is considered an honor. It's not as if we are doing service to other. It was considered, even in Mahabharata, we see that whenever a guest would come, Yudhishthira Maharaja will say, "You have honored us. You have allowed us to, do our serve, do our duty by coming." So basically, when a guest comes to our house, he is allowing us or giving us the opportunity to perform our duty. That's how we should take it. So Nanda Maharaja, he was very happy to see Nanda Maharaja, Yashoda, and Krishna. So he took them, gave a beautiful seat, washed their feet, gave them refreshments and everything, and spoke sweet words to them, asked them about their journey. And then in the meantime, Yashoda Ma said, "See, she went to Kirtida Sundari and said, I want to see what preparations you have done for my Kanaya." Yashoda Ma is very particular about what Bhoga Krishna gets. So he wanted to say, and then Kirtida Sundari said, "Yes, come, let's go to the kitchen." When she went to the kitchen, she was amazed to see that Radharani herself is cooking. Radharani herself was cooking, and she saw there's so many dishes, and she said, when she saw all these dishes, amazed, Yashoda Maya was amazed to see all of this. She said, "Oh girl, I've never seen anybody as good as you. The smell of the food, the presentation, the aroma, everything is perfect. Everything looks perfect in this room. Combination of the food, everything. I've never seen a preparation like this ever in my life. In terms of to the happiness to the eyes, to the ears, and the tongue, and the nose, and everything. It looks wonderful." But then she turned to Kirtida Sundari and said, "Why are you making your daughter cook? She's such a beautiful young girl, and you're asking her to cook a feast for all these hundreds and hundreds of people. This big fire, she has to stand and cook, and she's so delicate. Is it not the duty of the elderly gopis to do this? Why are you asking her to do it?" And Kirti, no. It is the responsibility of Radha to cook on her birthday. It is a responsibility to serve others. So like that they discussed, and then Yashoda Maya went, and Krishna and all his sakhas and everybody sat, and Yashoda specifically ordered Radharani that you should serve Krishna, his friends, and Nanda Baba, and our family, and your friends can serve the rest of the gopas. So Radharani personally served Krishna and his friends and everybody, and particularly the Brahmana friend of Krishna. We know he said after he tasted the food of Radharani, he started talking and he said, "Krishna, the tongue that has tasted this food, I am spoiled now because I can't taste. I can't accept any other food in the world now. I have never tasted anything like this." And once somebody has tasted this food, how can I go and taste any other food? And I've never seen so many preparations in my life, and all of them tasting so good. Krishna also said, "Yes, but you please shut up. Well, don't talk. I am enjoying my food so much. Please don't talk while eating." So they all enjoyed the food very much, and the festival went on. And at the end, Yashoda Maya came to Kirtida Sundari, and she said, "See, what that Brahmana boy said is very true. Now that Krishna has tasted the food cooked by Radharani, I don't think so there is any other food that is fit for him anymore. No other person's food is fit for to be offered to Krishna. So my request is, can you please send Radharani every day to our house to cook?" So that is how that tradition of Radharani, early morning every day she will get up, go to Yashoda Ma's house and cook for Krishna, and then she will come back. That tradition started. So that started on this day of Radhashtami. So Krishna first tasted the food cooked by Radharani on the Radhashtami day. So it's a very special day to accept the offering. And the glories of Radharani has no end. There is no end to the glories of Radharani. Krishna himself, Krishna himself is subservient to Radharani. That is the only way to talk about it. That is why when Krishna wanted that prema that Radharani, the love that Radharani, Krishna Radha prema is so powerful that Krishna is addicted to it. Or Krishna, it actually, Radharani's love for Krishna makes Krishna mad. Huh? Um, you know, you know, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, it to desire, Krishna was desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love. The wonderful qualities in Krishna that Radharani alone relishes through her love and the happiness she feels. So, three things: to understand the glory of Radharani love, the qualities of Krishna that Radharani alone relishes through her prema, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. These are the three things Krishna wanted to relish. Huh? Shri Radhya Pranaya Mahima Kirdisam. Radharani's Pranaya, love. Second is Swadyo Yena Adbhuta Madhurima Kidrusova Madiyaha. What is my excellent beauty that Radharani relishes? And the third one is Saukyam Chashya Madanu Bhavataha. What pleasure and happiness does Radharani derive while relishing my beauty? So Krishna developed a greed for these three things. Trivida Vancha. And that is why he appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All these three desires are related to Radharani. It is very difficult actually to understand Radharani. Therefore, Krishna became greedy for it. It is so confidential and difficult that even Krishna became greedy for it. He tried his best to fulfill his greed in Krishna Lila, but he could not. Therefore, the greed in his heart, it is a very, very intense greed which he couldn't suppress. It has to be fulfilled. And having thought deeply about this, at last Krishna decided I must assume the mood and complexion of Radharani. Otherwise, I cannot fulfill these three desires. One of the characteristics of Radharani's love for Krishna, Radha Prema, is that Radha Prema makes Krishna himself mad. Radha Prema is so powerful that it makes Krishna, who is the Almighty and all-powerful, a mad person. Krishna is all-powerful, omnipotent, yet he becomes mad for Radharani's Prema. So, it is said that Radha Prema is greater than Krishna. Now we need to analyze this. In one lecture, Gaur Govind Maharaj is very beautifully, deeply describing this. He explains, we need to understand why generally a person will become mad. What are the reasons that a person will become mad? Generally, there are three reasons. Number one is when somebody is obsessed about something, always deeply thinking about a particular subject, excessively all the time about a particular thing, he becomes mad. That is first reason. Number two is when each individual has a capacity to contain something, and a container has a fixed capacity. When too much, we have certain capacity, in terms of pain or anxiety or stress or whatever it is, we have a certain capacity to tolerate or observe. Beyond that, if it goes, a person will become mad. Or the third reason is when somebody is covered with ignorance, he becomes mad. So these are the three reasons why one will go mad. But if we see that none of this reason is applicable to Krishna. Krishna is Atma Rama. He enjoys in himself. So why will he think of any other subject excessively? And he is omnipotent. He knows everything. And he has unlimited capacity. There is no ignorance in him. So all these three reasons, then why did he become? So this is explained by Kaviraja Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna one time considered within his heart. He was thinking, everyone says that I am complete bliss, full of rasa. Purnananda Purna Rasarupa Kaha More. All the world derives pleasure from me. But is there anyone who can give me pleasure? So Krishna was thinking like that. So Krishna was thinking, Rasera Nidana. Krishna is saying, I am the primary cause of all rasas. Purnananda Maya Ami Chinmaya Purna Tattva Radhikara Preme Ama Karaya Unmata. Krishna is saying, I am full spiritual truth and I am made of full joy. But the love of Srimati Radharani drives me mad. He is saying Unmata. Unmata means mad. The love of Radharani is driving me mad. Na jani Radhara Prema Ache Kata Bala Ye Bale Amare Kare Sarvada Vibala. So Krishna is saying, I do not know the strength of Radha's love with which she always overwhelms me. So Krishna is so amazed, and even though he knows everything, in one lecture Prabhupada is saying, Krishna says, I know everything, but one thing he doesn't know is about Radharani's love. So he has to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada explains this in one of his Radharashtami lectures. So finally Krishna says, Radhikara Prema Guru Ami Sishya Nata Sada Ama Nana Nritya Nachaye Udbata. He's saying, the love of Radhika is my teacher and I am her dancing pupil. Her prema makes me dance various dances. This is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Although I am all-knowing, I do not know what strength is there in Krishna Radha prema, and it makes me mad. I do not know what power is there in Radha Prema that it makes me mad. I am the disciple of Radharani's love. The one who is supreme is a disciple here. You see, this is the contradictory nature of love. In love, there is always contradiction. We are talking about real love. You will see that union and separation is there at the same time. Even though Krishna is supreme, he is also a disciple of Radharani. Everyone surrenders to Krishna. Krishna says, surrender unto me. Sarana Vatsala, right? Everybody takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, but Krishna begs the lotus feet of Radharani. Dehi Pada Pallavam Udaram. He is saying, Radharani, please give me your lotus feet. So Radha Prema becomes the Guru and Krishna becomes the disciple. And Guru can make the disciple do many things. He'll say, go up, come down, this, that, go here, come there. And similarly, in this way, the love of Radharani, Radha Prema, Krishna is saying, is making me go up and down, Is it really true that Krishna is mad? Or is it just like a saying? It is actually the Radha's love for Krishna is so powerful that it actually makes Krishna mad. Vishnavar Chakravarti Thakura says, he has written in one of his places, he says, he's explaining the thoughts of Krishna. Krishna is saying, I am omnipotent. I am full of all pleasure and happiness. There is nothing lacking in me. There is no deficiency. I am full of knowledge. Still, I become mad after Radha Prema. And becoming mad after Radha Prema, I do not know what to do. Because generally you see a madman doesn't know what to do. So we can see, if you see whether Krishna is really mad, we can go and analyze his behavior and see how Radha's love is making him mad. Krishna once, you see, he spends the whole night behind a berry tree in the courtyard of Radharani's house, waiting for Radharani to come. He spends whole night behind the tree. Is that not madness? And sometimes he goes and sits on the path where Radharani comes and goes, waiting for a long time. He's hoping Radharani will come, Radharani will come, Radharani will come. So, is that not a sign of madness? Krishna sometimes he takes extraordinary measures, just to get the touch the lotus feet of Radharani. He disguises himself as a wife of a barber, Napitini. They call it Napitini. So Yogeshwara Krishna disguises himself, puts on a sari and pretends to be a wife of a barber. He goes there and says, Radharani, he goes to Radharani and says, hey Radhe, I have bought you very nice alta. Alta is the red color that the women put in the soul. You see Radharani's lotus feet, you'll see that red color. So she says, I have got that for you. Radharani, please come here and give me your feet. I'll put it on them for you. It will look so beautiful on you. Is that not madness? Sometimes Krishna even goes in the form of a beggar woman, begging alms. Radharani, please come out and give me some food. See how mad Krishna is. He disguises himself as a wife of a gardener who makes garland. And he says, Radharani, I brought you very nice garlands, variety of scented flowers for you. Krishna personally makes a beautiful garland and takes it for Radharani. Please come, I'll put it around your neck. See how mad Krishna is. He also disguises himself as a wife of a washerman, Dhobi. And he goes to Radharani and says, and Radharani, please give me all your clothes. He wants to touch the cloth of Radharani. I'll wash them so nicely that they will be blazing more than sunlight. Krishna can give you advertisement better than any other advertisement you will see in TV. We see various things, this soap, that soap, this washing powder, that washing powder. Krishna is saying, his advertisement is, I will make your clothes more bright than sunlight. Please give me your garments. The master of the universe wants to wash the, cloth of Radharani. Is that not madness? Sometimes he makes himself as the wife of a perfume maker, Gandhini. And he makes, he sits and personally grinds sandalwood paste. You go to Mayapur or India, they'll have a stone and they'll have this big piece of sandalwood. You see this during Chandan Yatra. Then you'll see the devotee sitting and, grinding it for hours together just to make the paste for Radha Krishna. So Krishna is doing that personally. And taking some very nice sandalwood paste, he goes to Radharani and says, hey Radhe, I bought you this nice scented sandalwood. Please come. I'll decorate your forehead with some nice scented sandalwood paste. Please come. When Krishna sees a golden color, anything he sees golden, he sees a golden creeper, he runs thinking that is Radharani and goes and hugs it. So that is the sign of madness. These are all symptoms of madness. It is Radha Prema that has made him mad. It is said that sometimes he takes the dust from the path that Radharani has walked on and puts it all over his body. That's the power of the love of Srimati Radharani that Krishna is attracted. He actually, he waits for the time Radharani goes to take bath in Yamuna. And he goes upstream, downstream, and he takes bath so that the water that has washed Radharani will touch his body. The Charana Amrita of Radharani, he wants to get the Charana Amrita of Radharani. Like a madman, Krishna is always running around Vrindavan. He goes from one place to another place searching for Radharani. He goes, oh Radhe, please give me darshana. Dekha diya prana rako Radhe Radhe, tomara kangala, tomaya dake Radhe Radhe. My life will leave me there. Please give me your darshan. I am Kangala. I am a beggar. Krishna is saying, I am begging you. He goes to, Keshi Gata. From there he runs to Nidhuvan. From there he runs to Kunjavan. Then from there he goes to Talavan. He goes to Radha Kund. He runs everywhere asking, Radha, where are you? Please give me your darshan. I am a beggar asking for your darshan. That's the power of love of Radharani. So if we get the mercy of Radharani, Krishna is completely, we say Krishna is supremely independent, but he is also completely under the control of Radharani. That is the beauty of love. Just before this started, our class started, His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj was giving class about how love makes everything contradictory. One time, Radharani was talking about the character of Krishna, and when all the Sakhis heard, her sweet voice and the love with which she was talking about Krishna, they all became like a stone. They all became like a stone. And then the stone started melting. See how contradictory things happen. A soft-hearted gopis are, they couldn't move. They became like a stone, and stone which is very hard started melting. That is the power of love of Radharani, the prema of Radharani. And only Radharani has the power to give that prema to anybody else. Nobody can get so Krishna says in Padma Puran to Narada Muni, he says, Narada Muni, if you ever desire the prema of me, if you want Krishna prema, you need to pray to Radharani. Only she has the adhikara to give this prema to others. And the spiritual master comes as a representative of Srimati Radharani to give that prema to us. So this is very important. So today is such an important day that we should beg. Even Krishna is begging for that Radharani. Right? He has the greed to get that prema of Radharani, of darshan of Radharani, service of Radharani, to become a disciple of Radharani. Radhikar premar guru ami sishya, Krishna is saying. So we should have that burning desire in the heart. And today is like Prabhupada says, it's like a bonus day. You get extra mercy today by serving Srimati Radharani. We were hearing from my spiritual master saying that how one lady, she was traveling all over the world, and she came to the temple the day before Radhashtami. She saw big festival things happening. So she asked what is happening. So you don't know, today we are having a big, tomorrow of Radhashtami, we are making preparations. Come, help us. So she unknowingly, she went and helped make the garlands, clean the temple, and she did all the service. And it is said that she, along with her descendants, our predecessors and descendants, they all went back home, back to God. That's how powerful Radhashtami is. So it doesn't mean that only on Radhashtami we will do service and the rest of the day we won't. But it's a very powerful weapon in our fight against Maya. So on this particular day, if we worship Radharani, if we pray to Radharani, she is very compassionate. Most compassionate, actually. Radharani is most compassionate. She is Karunamayi. Karunamayi Radhe. Even though she has this highest quality that even Krishna is behind her, she is very soft-hearted and she is very merciful. So on this day, we should pray to Radharani. Please, Radharani, let me engage in as a servant of your servant. Let me engage seriously in the service of my spiritual master, so that I can properly be engaged in your service. So that should be our prayer today. And with that note, I'll finish the class here. Thank you all for joining. Happy Radhashtami. Hope I was able to repeat some of the words I've heard from our great spiritual masters. After this, there is going to be Aarti, Abhishekam, all the big festivals. Please join. Take the mercy of Srimati Radharani, and let's all be blissfully always engaged in the service of Srimati Radharani. We all know Srila Prabhupada is the greatest servant of Srimati Radharani, one of the greatest servants. From his birth, his father prayed that he should be a devotee of Radharani, and we see that Srila Prabhupada single-handedly how he spread and gave this Radha Prema to so many of the people all around the world. Without his mercy, we are all nowhere. And through his disciples, our spiritual masters, we are also getting the mercy. So today, let us pray to Srimati Radharani and become more serious in our devotional service, and let us do more service and become completely engaged in service to Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Radha Gopinath ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.